Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. And to the Matrix you are. The Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger. Daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys spam the like button so other people can spam that like button. As of the time of recording, it's October 27th, 2025. Bitcoin currently sitting at $114,400, and what we can see, what we talked a lot about, is the 200 moving average being a critical level of support for Bitcoin, which it has been, and we have bounced off of that, going to the critical 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, which to me is going to be the decision. And the decision is this: are we going to break above into the previous all-time high, getting to the top of the range again, or are we going to get rejected and most likely hold this as support again, creating a higher low? So that is the big decision for Bitcoin. What we can see on the 5-hour chart is we've had a big breakout back test of the prior range. Of course, we have the what we do have right now is the Fed is in a couple of days right now. My bet, though, to be honest, with Bitcoin, we could go down to 112. We could even fill out the CME gap. The Fed is in 2 days. They're going to cut rates. My bet is everyone is way entirely too pessimistic. It is very bearish. It's just misery. Both of these, in all reality, are equally as likely. My bet, though, with the way that the sentiment is that we're going to go to the top of the range, and we're going to see that. That is my bet. That's where I'm placing my bets. What we've been seeing a lot, though, with gold, it's just the big rotation is what I'm calling it. Gold, for a long time, has just been absolutely parabolic and has been stealing our lunch money in a lot of ways. But this is now continuing to make lower lows and lower highs. In fact, I have been making a killing shorting gold all the way down, and I sold 40% of my gold as we were looking like this, October 16th, 2025. We have not been higher for a second. We have not been higher. Not for a second have we been higher since October 16th, and I plan to short this all the way down. Now, I don't think it's going to be, listen, here's the deal. Gold isn't some cryptocurrency, and it's not going to behave like some meme coin. So it's not likely that it's just going to go straight down off to Hades and back test 3,300. It's more likely going to gruel its way down. But that's all we really need, is for it to gruel its way down and start to rotate into, Bitcoin, and start to rotate into the Russell, and start to rotate into the stock market. In reality, we had the big spring tariff, and we went into this parabolic euphoric run all the way to the 3618. Well, did we have a moment like that for gold, where it had a big spring and went absolutely parabolic before grueling its way down? And the answer is yes. Gold went absolutely parabolic August of 2020 before it topped out and grueled its way down. And I don't need to tell you guys what happened after August of 2020, but in my opinion, more or less, that's way too simply to put it. But more or less, I think that's what's going to happen, is gold has been stealing the lunch money with this absolutely euphoric run, and it got the most overbought that it has been since, coincidentally, August of 2020 on the daily. But on the monthly chart, guess what? Gold is the most overbought that it has been right now since 1979, okay? Not, a couple weeks ago, not a couple months ago, not a couple years ago. A few decades ago. This is the most overbought that gold has been for a few decades. And so, in the bigger term, in my opinion, that's what's going to happen, is we're going to continue to see rotation of capital from gold into the stock market, into the Russell 2000, and into cryptocurrency. Now, it's not going to be linear. It's not going to be this like today gold peak to tomorrow off to Valhalla. It's not going to work like that. But in my opinion, that is what we are going to see. Now, speaking of the Russell 2000, we have been following this fractal hilariously, almost perfectly. And I mean almost literally perfectly. And what is the Russell 2000, you may be asking? And what is this fractal here? This fractal is from over here. From 2018 to the C19 crash, which I'm saying that gold has the same exact setup from, into the parabolic run, and we went into distribution for the Russell 2000, which is a signal of risk on assets. This was March of 2021 through November of 2021. We went into distribution. And so I pulled a fractal from over here, and I have outlined it over the April tariffs, which I'm making the case. That's how we are behaving. And we are following this almost hilariously. And in fact, even this, look at this big liquidation that took place in 2021. Guess what? The exact same time frame. Literally the same size candle and everything that we had on October 10th from the big double black swan. And if I zoom out, you can see this is following this to a T right now. And if we were to continue to follow this, we're going to make a higher high and then a higher low, and that would be the start of distribution. And we know, of course, this is when the distribution took place. Let's go back to Bitcoin, because one thing that I didn't talk about was right now, just the sentiment, the feeling is just in the absolute dumps. Okay, it's just horrible. It's just grueling. This is a miserable time for everyone. In fact, it reminds me so much of 2024. And let's take a trip down memory lane here for a minute. And just the emotional warfare that took place during this time was insanity. And what happened was we went to this nice little run. We slightly made a new all-time high. Everyone got their hopes up. They're like, this is it. We're at 74K. This is it. Off to Neverland. What color is your Lamborghini going to be? Only to have the rug pulled down to 60K. And then we went back up again to 73K. Everyone got their hopes up again. This is it. We're finally breaking out, only to have the rug pulled back down to 57K. Bounced again all the way up to 72K. This is it. Finally, those two, no. Only to have the rug pulled again back down to 53K. And just the emotional warfare, the get your hopes up only to have the rug pulled. Get your hopes up only to have the rug pulled back to 49K. This was a miserable, 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 miserable time in crypto. More miserable here, actually, than back in 2022. After FTX went to zero, this was more exhausting for most people than even over here, because we had been on a downtrend. It was like, okay, whatever. How much worse can it get? Whatever. Maybe we go to 10K. Whatever. This, having your hopes up only to have the rug pulled again and again and again, it got everyone to a point of despair and disbelief that nobody believed this rally. When we finally started putting in higher lows and higher highs in October of 2024, nobody believed in this until we were already at 100K. And so I pulled a fractal over here for Bitcoin, and this isn't a perfect structural fractal. I would give this a B plus out of, I would give this an 8 out of 10 or a B plus, maybe a B minus, B. But you can see, though, it is pretty good. Like, you definitely see a lot of the same peaks. You definitely see a lot of the same valleys. And you have the same liquidation. This was the Japan rate cut. But the sentiment and the vibe, to me, is almost identical of just how much misery, how much despair there really is. And guess where we went to during this time? To the 200 moving average, the 200 EMA. We went slightly below it, but what did we find as support here? The 200 EMA. So is it the same but just different? You be the judge of that. You can let me know in the comments. We'll take a look at Ethereum, and I'll give you guys my thoughts overall on the market, and then we'll get into your guys' Questions, comments, concerns. I like Ethereum here. This is a lot of support that basically, you know, the thing that I brought up a lot is the 200 EMA gives me a little bit of pause, but this thing is sloping almost straight up. And it's continuing to slope up. By the time anything were able to catch this, we would probably already be at the 3,500 where we found a support anyways. So to me, this is, I don't want to say it's a non-factor, but I'm less concerned about it than I was. But what we can see from a structural standpoint, all this really was for Ethereum was a big breakout and a back test of the prior range, which this was over a year of support. So this makes me very encouraged with Ethereum. We are too, just like what we talked about with Bitcoin, we're at the retracement. This is the decider. Are we going to come back and make it higher low, or is this going to break out, go to the top of the range? Ultimately, one thing that I don't think is different, I do think that Ethereum breaking out into price discovery is still going to be the leader of actual real deal altcoins. So we'll see. You know, if Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do, going to the top of the range, I think Ethereum is going to do the exact same thing. If Bitcoin gets rejected here at the retracement, I think Ethereum is going to do the exact same and put in a higher low. Ultimately, I put it out October 11th, I believe I put it out. The 28-day low is in. I still think that is true. And we have, what, 2 weeks, a week, 10 days for that call to be good. So we will see. But overall, I don't mind the structure of Ethereum. I think it has a pretty decent setup. I'm going to be looking to continue to long Bitcoin. I'll be looking to long Ethereum. And I'm going to continue to look to long, I'm going to continue to look to short gold. We'll talk about XRP, and then that'll be that. So for XRP specifically, I like the price action that we've gotten for XRP. Where is my XRP? My God. I like the price action that we've gotten for XRP over the last few days. I do think that we are flirting. Here we go. With flipping back to bullish. We talked about getting above the 200. That's going to be the first big check mark. If we can get above the 200 EMA, which is about $2.61, and then hold this for a couple of days, that's really good. And then we could definitely say that this was just a spring. And I made the case that we're doing Wyckoff reaccumulation. We need to hold that. That's the first big thing. And then if we can put in a higher high by the grace of God, that would definitely be classified as a spring and flip us completely back bullish. If we were to do that, ultimately my targets for XRP are still the exact same, $5, $8. But the important thing is, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. All right, so that was, I just recorded a video, and then we will get into you guys' questions, comments, and concerns. We'll start reading the chat. That was just my market update. Killing two birds with one stone here, because you guys come for the market. Waste of management loves XRP garbage crypto. That's fine. It also was at 30 cents, and it's also been the top blue chip performing crypto. So you can say, like, also guess what? Fartcoin, like, what does Fartcoin do? But it went to $1 billion. So also Ondo is great technology. Arrow is great technology, but it doesn't make that it doesn't mean that it's good investment, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to return from a good ROI perspective. Good technology does not equal good ROI investment. Good ROI investment doesn't necessarily mean good technology. So you can say that XRP sucks, sure, but it was also at 30 cents, and I also bought a farm with my XRP. So I bought it at 30 cents, and I sold 40% at $3.33. So that's what real deal happened. IRL. I don't really care about anything else. I'm not here to join a cult. I'm not here to do any of that stuff. I'm here to get ROI. Anyway, legally, morally, ethically. Please look at HBAR when you get time. We'll look at I should have included HBAR in the video. Something's brewing, Ski. I agree. What up? What's up, out of the night? Good to see you, bro. Save us, Ski. Bitcoin to 180. Have BP now. Do you think the despair and misery has to do within being in the fourth year? I just think it has to do with people getting their hopes up only to get the rug pulled, just the same as it happened last time. because that's what happened. Like, we were at all-time highs with Bitcoin in 2024. We were at all-time highs, and that's what got people's hopes up. And then people don't like getting their hopes up and then being let down, right? That's the worst. Is like, it's almost worse. In fact, I would say it is worse to just not have your hopes up at all. Like, it protects you emotionally if you just don't get your hopes up at all. And that's why, to me, when we were in the depths of the bear market, it wasn't as bad emotionally as it was over here after we had already pumped a 3, 4, 5x. And the reason is no one had any hope over here. So it wasn't even as bad emotionally as over here when we did have hope, because we were at an all-time high, only to go from 74K all the way back down to 49K. That sucks. And that's a big kick in the PP. And that's what people dealt with. So that, to me, it has more to do with that rather than just Q4 or whatever. It's just people getting their hopes up only to have a big liquidation. ETF goes live. Should I quit trading if I blew 1K today? I don't know. What is 1K to you? All right, well, let's read some of the comments, and then we'll look at the HBAR chart. I just went over XRP. Thoughts on Filecoin? Filecoin has too much inflation for me. Can you look at ADA? I don't understand, so you're not in the XRP army? I have never been in the XRP army, not for a day. Don't date it, just trade it. Not for a day have I been in the XRP army. Never one time have you heard the phrase 589 to my mouth. Never has that came out of my mouth. Never 10,000, never, none of that stuff. My target since 30 cents has been $5, $8, $12. I publicly said at 30 cents that I would be selling a big part of my bag at $1.11, $2.22, $3.33. That is exactly what I did. So I did a 10x on my XRP, and I bought the farm. Literally bought a farm. literally. All right, let's read the YouTube comments, and then we'll look at some of your guys' charts. Says, haha, let's take bets on what Ski's been doing. All right, I was smoking a cigar, and before that I went to the gym and had my post-workout meal. We hit 385 for a double on the squats. Your boy's feeling strong, okay? Your boy's feeling strong. I haven't touched 385 on my neck in like 7-8 years, but I was feeling strong today. This is the strongest I've been in a while. I just got to get listen, your boy's got a little bit of a belly on me, but the strength never left. Don't get it twisted. Do you buy gold or just silver? I buy gold and silver, and I sold 40% of my gold on the 16th. Literally, so far, that's been the top. Thoughts on sauce? I like sauce. How are the value plays doing? Am I going to be able to buy McDonald's with the value plays someday? I'm in the ROI cult. Same here. I'm in the ROI cult as well. Yeah. Sold like the 589. V-Chain. I like V-Chain. V-Chain's one of my top blue chip plays for sure. 80K XRP. What are the odds Sonic hitting 589 mean? I'd love that. I'd have to retire to look at my money. The odds are inevitable when we're measuring it in dollar, which they continue to print. They continue to print infinity. Like, there's no limit to dollars. Dollars are not a finite thing. That's what we're measuring it in. The question is when, how long is it going to take? I don't know. He says, Ski, I saw that 3 Cadillac bench press. Let's look at HBAR. Everyone keeps asking me about HBAR. Let's take a look. Let's take a gander on what HBAR has been up to. Everyone says it's ripping, Ski. What the hell? Help us. I mean, it's up a little. I don't know if I was ripping. This is a nice, I would probably classify this as a spring. We need to get above the 200 I don't even know if this is bullish posture yet, to be honest. We need to get above 20 cents and hold it to flip this back bullish. But that would look good. I like HBAR a lot. You guys know I love me some HBAR. What is the retracement here? Let's get rid of some of these Fibonacci's. Let's get some of these Fibonacci's. So the retracement is 30 cents. And then price discovery is 60 cents. Parabolic off the micro is 120. I think that those are all possible, and I would take profit at all of those. On all of those. Ski and Brad Garlinghouse are tight. Thank you guys for the roses. Yes, savages.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
What are your general thoughts on FET? Do you think it's over? I don't really have any thoughts on FET. I never really drank the Kool-Aid on FET. I'm torn between you and Blockchain Backer. I both value your opinions. You're both saying very different things. He thinks it's over and you think it's not. IDK, what to do? Listen, I have a lot of respect for Blockchain Backer. My thing is you should come up with your own thesis and make your own thing. I don't want to be anybody's savior for sure. I respect Blockchain Backer. I think what he's saying, there's very few people that I listen to that I'm like, I really consider what they say, and he would be on a very, very short list of people, especially doing TA, that I really put weight to what they say. I've listened to what he says, and I think there are some flaws in his thinking. And I feel comfortable disagreeing with him right now, and that's fine. I think what he's saying is like more macro, like there are bearish divergences on the weekly. That's for sure happening, right? And I think it's just more indicative of like, hey, we are at the last like push for sure. You know what I mean? Like we are near the end. But a lot of what his thinking is and what he has, his problem is most people are looking at 2017. He's looking at 2021. And 2021 to me is more recency bias of like, that was a really weird situation in that there was a crazy amount of money printing that happened and they literally shut the world down. Those are not the same circumstances. It's not the same circumstances from from the Fed perspective. It's not the same circumstances from a lot of that stuff. Also, the Russell is continuing to go higher, which is the same setup that we had. Also, gold has been stealing the lunch money. So I think there's lots of flaws in his way of thinking, or I could poke lots of holes in his line of thinking, but I still have lots of respect for him. More him than, almost any other TA person for sure. But I feel comfortable disagreeing. And also, like, here's the thing from a human perspective that you have to kind of understand with a blockchain backer, and this is just human, right? A human being. The blockchain backer in 2021, he missed the top, right? Publicly, he thought we were going to have another bounce. That's what he projected in 2021, and he missed it, and he got burnt, and then we had like a big sell-off. And he had to come out publicly and say, he strives himself on yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And so being sort of timid to that again, that's human nature. And then also, he sold 50% of his bag because I think that was the right thing for him to do because of his tax perspective. And I think it was the right thing for him to do from a ROI perspective, where he had already done a 3-5x on a lot of stuff. So it makes sense from a tax perspective and a ROI perspective to take profit, and he did. And then once you do that, it's human nature to look for confirmation bias of that. And again, like, this is coming from someone who has an immense amount of respect for him, and maybe he'll be right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him being right because I've already taken profit on XRP. I've already taken a lot of action. I've already set up things in a way. I'm already looking to get rid of some of my Bitcoin here. You know, I'm okay with him being right. Maybe you're not. But I feel comfortable disagreeing with him because I think that there's flaws in his thinking, that it's recency bias of the 2021 cycle. He's relying a lot on number of days for his analysis. He's relying a lot on, you know, the human element of it, like where he got burned in 2021, where he was still bullish. And he doesn't want to do that again. So maybe he's a day early and $1 short. That's fine. And then also, like, he sold 50% of his portfolio, and now it's human nature to look for confirmation bias of, like, I took action, so let me look in the charts to see where it, you know, aligns with that thinking. By the way, I'm doing the same thing with gold. I wasn't really bearish on gold like that until I sold 40%, and then guess what? It's clear as day to me after I sold 40% of my gold that, hey, gold looks super bearish. And it didn't happen like that. What actually happened was I already had a plan to sell some of my gold, and I had been thinking about it. And then everyone kept asking me about gold as it was going absolutely parabolic. I never had anyone ask me about gold. And then I looked at the chart, and then we were overbought on every single time frame. And that's when I made a decision on live. I said, I'm selling 40% of my gold after this live stream. And it was very clear to me in that moment. Okay, and then so you have to factor that into the equation, which it wasn't ripping in 2021. Gold was absolutely not ripping in 2021. So anyways, that's a long-winded answer to say I have a lot of respect for blockchain backer, and I disagree, and I feel comfortable disagreeing with him. Was BCB accurate during the last bull run? No, he was not. That's the thing that I'm saying. He was not. I think his specialty is, I mean, you can make the argument too, is my specialty is bottom. Do you hold any XRP or are you all out? I still own 60% of my XRP, or probably about, no, that's not true. From the most that I've held, I probably own about 40%. But I still own a substantial amount of XRP, for sure. Solnic still on page. What do you mean by that? Still on page? On pace? What do you, I don't know what you're saying. Solnic is my number one 100x play. And I love the chart, if that's what you're asking me. Thoughts on Alex Becker? I don't know who that is. I don't really watch people, to be honest with you. How much HBAR do you hold? I hold a little bit. I like HBAR for sure. I think it's a very solid project. What's your outlook on real estate market / real property? So I have personal experience with this right now because my house is for sale. And I can tell you from a personal experience that the market is cold, very cold. We are getting a lot of showings on our house, but we haven't had any offers. And it's been up for sale for probably like a month and a half now at this point. We get showings probably like once or twice a week, but we haven't had any offers. I can tell you for a fact that the market is cold. However, I suspect history would say, as they continue to cut rates, it's only going to make the market more hot. And I think that we are shifting from going from a cold real estate market to a hot, very hot real estate market. And I think people my age foolishly have this idea in their head, just like with crypto, they're going to wait and wait and wait for the bottom, and then the bottom's never going to come, right? I I think people my age think that a 2008 style crash is coming for real estate, and I'm here to tell you it's not coming. It's not coming. Do you know why it's not coming? Because laws were put in place to make sure it can't come. And also, quantitative easing did not exist before 2008. The dollar does not equal a dollar since 2008. Is it going to cool off some percentage? Sure. But this idea that we're going to have the same thing, and that's what a lot of people my age are waiting for, is like they're going to wait to buy the bottom on real estate. It's not coming. A crash in real estate looks like how it is now, where it's cool, but the price, the value is basically the same. Does crypto clarity bill need to pass before volume? No. Are you still bullish on Rose? I'm still bullish on Rose. Good evening, Ski. When Moon. My girlfriend's boyfriend needs a new used Camry. Crow. I think Crow is solid. What do you think? Bitcoin 157, 211, possible 244 high. I think that's possible. To me, it's 138, 207. 118 was actually my second target, or my first target. We already hit that. Thank you for the ghosts, you savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Is Flux ever going to move? Flux will move with the rest of the market. When do we fill the Bitcoin CME futures gap? Before or after the FOMC meeting? Listen, man, the CME gap to me is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't listen. I don't make my analysis based off of CME gaps. I don't. Sometimes they get filled. Sometimes they don't. There's a CME gap at 92K. They don't always get filled. Everyone swore up and down that 92K was going to get filled. I'm not buying until the CME gap gets filled. 92K, 92K, 92K. Guess what? It never got filled. It's still there. It is still there, my friends. That gap never got filled. To this day, has never been filled. So, listen, the answer is probably after, if ever. After, if ever. Is your Solnic beard bet still in play? Yes, there is no beard bet that starts that doesn't end without me being correct or a shaved beard. Is CME Gap a crypto thing, or does it exist in all markets? It is an all market thing. The how it exists is really more traditional, actually. Because what happens is, I'll give you an example, and the only way that it's even possible on crypto is through certain exchanges, which is why I don't really pay it too much mind. Okay, so what happens is, like, you will run up, right? So let's say you're at X coin is at I don't know, $1. This is what a CME gap is. Okay, this is how silly it is too, to like put any kind of crazy amount of weight into it. So what happens is, like, I'm painting lines, but really you get candles, right? And let's say you had a big candle up to $1.50, right? This is your candle up to 150 on X coin. Well, the market will close on Friday. You know, or it'll do this at the close, and then so there's this point between $1 and $1.50 that doesn't have any trading because of where it closed. And so this is called a CME gap, where it has a big run up or a big crash on the traditional market, or maybe on the weekend or at night or whatever. There was a big move, and it creates a gap because it didn't fill on the actual traditional market. So that's what a CME gap is, and the idea is that these always get filled. They sometimes get filled, mostly get filled, but not in the way they don't get filled every single time, and they don't get filled every single time within a week or within a month. And that's how people operate. They operate as if they get filled every single time within a week, within a month. And that's not true. There's a CME gap at 92K that's been there for like 4 months, 5 months. There's all kind of CME gaps that have never been filled. There's CME gaps at like $300. There's a CME gap at $100. They don't always get filled. And they don't always get filled within a week or a month like people think, and like how people operate. It's a thing, but it's not gospel. It's not the 10 Commandments. It's not, and thus Jesus saith unto the Jeets, the CME gap shall be filled before the price shall go high. No, it's not written in red. It's not coming. It's not gospel. It's a thing. It's a piece to the puzzle that you can be mindful of, but it's not the puzzle. It's not the whole picture. Ski, do you still stand on November, December being euphoric? I think that there's a very good possibility. Do you deposit crypto into liquidity pools? Absolutely. I love liquidity pools. Are the eighth wonder of the world. The Web, thanks for the $5 donation, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Ski, imagine it's over and 88 XRP drop 90%. We get 88 at 6 cents, XRP at 25 cents. I will be rich in 2029. Pfft. I don't think that that's happening, but I would love to buy 88 at 6 cents. Don't ignore a Ski. I didn't ignore nothing. I'm just reading comments. There's I have 6 different platforms, brother. Don't take it personally. I think so. I'm still bullish for Q4. This contrary to popular belief. I need to learn how to do that. I have no idea. Feel like I'm missing the boat. Liquidity pools. Well, Logan's Digs, there's plenty of YouTube videos, including from my own channel, to show you how to do that. If you want a, hold your hand process and have someone to help you walk you through it, I can help you with that. You can book a call with me. But there's plenty of YouTube videos. Do it with a small amount. The cream rises to the top. What's your end of year prediction for a Bitcoin? 138. ICP. Let's look at ICP. He says, before we look at ICP though, I'm just going to show a random coin link. He says, does October 10th invalidate thesis because a lot of stuff made new lows? The answer is no. It was a black swan depegging from Binance. This is not, I'm not counting this as a structural thing. Like, do you see how we're already back to where we were, going higher with Link, putting in higher highs and higher lows? This is not structure. This is a scam wick to steal liquidity. This is Binance got their stuff depegged, and all of the pairs were lost, so exchanges went all the way down to like $300. But like structurally, Ethereum did not go to $300, right? Ethereum didn't really go to $300. Binance's coins depegged, and there was no trading pairs because everything uses Binance's liquidity, which is why you should use DeFi. So the answer is no, because this isn't structure. This is a liquidation. Like 2017. All right, ICP. Yeah. We'll see. The structure's at the 2023 bottom over here. I would like to see a bounce into the retracement. We got to put in a higher high, a higher low here. Get some structure going. I like that it's back at this, though. But really, we would like to get it back above 450 to have some real movement on it. I still like ICP. I still believe in the project. The 200's all the way up here, 490. We got to get above that to get back in bullish posture. Let's take a peek on the 5 hour. The 5 hour is 390. That would be a higher high. I would like to see a higher high. To me, that would be a really good sign. If we can put in a higher high for ICP, then we're going to retrace. Solnic, my number one 100x coin. Solnic has been, held up better than 99% of coins during this crash, actually. 99% of coins Solnic held up better than. My bet is still the same, 7.5 cents by the end of the bull market, or I will shave my beard. That is still the beard bet. I will be accumulating Solnic aggressively in the bear market. I will be bridging us to all kinds of chains, including BNB, including HBAR, if possible, including Polygon, including every chain. I plan to bridge us to all of them. We're on AVAX and Base and Solana right now. But actually, look at all the wicks on all the other coins that we had. Let's look at Sonic. Look at these big giant wicks that we had on Sonic, on Shiba, on all these big coins, right? Quant got all the way down to $51. And then look at how Solnic held up during the worst of times. Still at the bottom of the range, still just in accumulation, still just chopping. Beautiful. Come on now. In the heat of battle. In the heat of battle. Come on now. Tell me a chart, sub $20 million market cap, with a weekly chart like this that looks better. I'll buy it right now. Ski, what up, dog? Good to see you. Good to see you too. Don't you have 100 million Solnic? I have given away 50 million Solnic, and I have burned 40 million Solnic. But no, I don't have 100 million Solnic. 6 low is my wallet. I've given away 50 million Solnic. I have burned 40 million. And I bridged another 10 million. So if you count all of those, it was 100 million. Pinlink looks better. Is Pinlink below 10 million? No, it doesn't. Pinlink is not below 10 million, and nor does it look better. Y'all don't listen. Penlink doesn't look better, nor is it below 10 million. That you think that looks better than Solnic? You're lying. Look at the weekly chart. That looks like a scam. It's not. But it don't look like that. Don't look like Solnic. Nothing but down on the weekly. Come on now. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. Don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. I say again, verily, verily, I say unto you, show me a sub $10 million market cap with a stronger looking chart than Solnic. I will buy it right now. Not now, but right now. This is Penlink. I think Penlink's a solid project, by the way. I think Penlink is a solid project, by the way. It doesn't look better than Solnic. And it's not even 10 million. It's not even a fair comparison. But it doesn't look better. Come on now. I'm tired, boss. Curious. Bitcoin is my biggest bag. XRP is number 2. Curious why you think Euphoria is possible. Q4 QT is still in place. QT is not really, and QT has not been in place for a while. We're very close to QE, actually. But we had a parabolic bull run in 2017 with QT. I never, not one time, have you heard the words come out of my mouth, we need QE to have a bull run. Never have I said that. That's a popular narrative, but that's not a real narrative because 2017 was one of the craziest bull runs ever, and it was QT. It was one of the craziest bull runs ever, and it was QT. So that's not real. That's a narrative, but it's not based in reality. Mr. Kelly would call it a golden shower. Damn it. Thoughts on VeChain? VeChain still top blue chip play for me. What's the narrative tokens this run? Probably DeFi. I think DeFi has a good chance of being a good run. RWA, maybe. Honestly, listen, here's the deal. They're all going to do well if others does well. If Ethereum does well, they're all going to do well. But like, what's going to be the flavor? It's not going to be something that already was the flavor. It'll probably be its own thing. Can we bull run like 2021? I think we'll bull run like 2017. That's what I think. What about Solana today? I already opened up, or I already did my Solana analysis in the video, and I already made a video about Solana as well. So you can check that video out. My most recent video is a Solana breakdown, but we already did it. In short, I think Solana is going to retrace 213. Says, you're pretty smart. I go to you often for my daily news. I appreciate that. I need to be better about doing news. I don't even do news like that. I should do a daily news video. I think 188 is a good entry. Unless you're accumulating, then now is a good entry. Then now is a good entry. If you had to choose between SEI or AIOZ network, who are you choosing? I don't love either one of those. Neither one of those are like I'm outwardly excited about. What's goals with social media? Just for fun, or you want to grow it? My goals with social media are to use my platform to help as many people as I can. That's my goals. So if that means growing my platform so I can help more people, then we will do that. But realistically, my platform is here to help as many regular folks as I can. That is the goal. So I have goals, obviously vanity goals of reaching X amount of followers, whatever. But really, none of that matters. The most important thing for me is to help as many regular people as I can. Coins I'm excited about, VeChain and Solnic. I'm excited about AVAX. I'm excited about Flux. I'm excited about HBAR. I used to follow Alex Costa and William Watson. I like both of those guys. I would watch your news segments. All right, I tell you what. I've been meaning to do more long form content. I've been slacking on that. I've just been doing my live streams, and I've been doing my live streams, and I've been doing my shorts, and I've been doing my members videos. But I've been slacking on my long form content. So I'll start doing a daily market news video, probably like a 15-minute video, 15 to 30-minute video, 10 to 30-minute video, depending on what's going on. I'll go over all of the important news, all over the important analysis, and I'll do that daily. But I need y'all to show it some love and like the video and watch it all the way to the end. And share it to a friend and leave a comment. And that'll help me. That'll help remind me to do that more often. So I'll start doing that again. I've been slacking. But I think this is a good stopping point. That's going to be it for this time. I'll be live tomorrow for a trading session. Probably going to be looking for some Bitcoin longs, some gold shorts. So I'll be live tomorrow around 8:30, 9 o'clock Central Time. That's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. The stream will be for members only. So if you guys want to become a member to support my work and to get the trades, you can do that. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. It's not me. If your boy Skis Crypto, or anyone using my name, image, or likeness messages you and says, "Hey, how's your trading going? Greetings, mate," or any of the following, guess what? I have 471 missed text messages. I am not getting back with my own people. I'm probably not going to message you. I'm definitely not going to message you. All right? But that's going to be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity.